International Guest Lecture Series for academic session 2023-24. In its yet another move towards holistic development of students at the university, Amity's monthly lecture series is an experience sharing session by eminent personalities from industry, academia, and research. The lecture series provides a platform for our students to interact with great minds and get inspired by their success. The lecture series aims at encouraging international and interdisciplinary communication, collaboration, leading to discussions which enhance the knowledge. I am privileged to share with you that today's talk in the International Guest Lecture Series is to be delivered by none other than a highly eminent personality named Dr. Indranath Chatterjee, Professor, Department of Computer Science at Tongmyong University, Busan, South Korea. The topic of discussion for the day is role of NLP for future AI communication. Indeed, a much desired topic of discussion in the world of IT for encouraging young minds of tomorrow. We are grateful to Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh, Group Vice Chancellor, Amity Universities, Director General, Amity Group of Institutions, and Vice Chairman, Global Foundation for Learning Excellence, for encouraging us towards such activities at Amity University in Tashkent. My dear students, we are fortunate to have blessings of Mr. Amol Chauhan, Trustee, Amity Education Group, a distinguished and dynamic personality. Sir is a visionary leader with a multifaceted role that involves shaping educational strategies, fostering innovation, and encouraging holistic development of our students. I thank our director, Amity University in Tashkent, Mr. Babur Abdullayev, a dynamic, humble, and innovative leader who has been an active participant at various initiatives to strengthen Amity University's outreach in Uzbekistan and beyond. He has been instrumental in establishing Amity University Tashkent campus. His technical temperament brings rich experience for one and all at Amity University in Tashkent. Sir, we express absolute gratitude for guiding us as a true leader. Amity, as a global name in the world of quality education, is acknowledged for its quality of academic management, where we ensure that the vision and mission of the university, along with its academic commitment, are delivered in a perfect manner. It is also important to lead the institution with a rich experience in academic management to achieve the same. This, my dear students, is what Dr. Naina Chaudhary, First Deputy Director, Academics, brings to the Amity University Tashkent. She has been leading Amity University family with absolute passion for her work. She is adding much more to Amity University Tashkent through her innovative style and absolute dedication towards the growth of the university. Ma'am, we are truly humbled and thankful to you for your initiatives as our leader. I hereby invite Dr. Naina Chaudhary to grace the dais.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sanobar. Dr. Chatterjee, it is such a pleasure to have you here. On behalf of all the members of Amity University family, I welcome you to deliver this guest lecture. In today's era, we cannot deny the role of these emerging disruptive technologies, and we are very, very grateful to the experts of your stature who agree to come and join us and enlighten our students on the emerging technologies. I'm very, very grateful to you. The government of Uzbekistan is doing a lot of things to promote IT education, and Amity University Tashkent has aligned its vision with the Republic of Uzbekistan. And this guest lecture series is one of the initiatives that is aligned to bring in experts who can give us an industry perspective to our students. My best wishes to the organizers, especially Dr. Sudhanshu, who puts in a lot of effort to ensure that these new technologies are discussed by the experts of the area in the computer science. So I welcome you here today. All the best to the organizers and all the best to the students. I hope you will have a lot to take away from this lecture. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. We indeed are indebted for your encouragement, as always. Dear students, it is now time to introduce our guest, Dr. Indranath Chatterjee, Professor, Department of Computer Engineering at Tongmyong University, Busan, South Korea, for a session with all of us here today. Sir is working as an adjunct professor, Woxon University, India, along with his current profile. He's also serving as a collaborating faculty at International Center for Neuroscience Research, Georgia, and as a research director at Total SoftBank Private Limited, South Korea. He received his PhD in computational neuroscience from the Department of Computer Science, University of Delhi, India. His research area particularly includes computational neuroscience, schizophrenia, medical imaging, fMRI, and machine learning. Sir has authored and edited several books on computer science and neuroscience published by renowned international publishers. To date, he has published numerous research papers in international journals of repute. He is a recipient of various global awards on neuroscience. He's currently serving as a chief section editor of renowned international journals and as a member of the advisory board and editorial board of various international journals. Sir is presently working on projects of government and non-government organizations related to medical imaging and machine learning for a broader societal impact. Sir is an active professional member of the Association of Computing Machinery USA, Organization of Human Brain Mapping USA, Federations of European Neuroscience Society, Association for Clinical Neurology and Mental Health, India. Without much ado, I invite Sir to grace the dais and enlighten the audience. Put a round of applause for Sir, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the warm welcome and a graceful talk. So I'm really thankful, and thank you to Dr. Naina and specifically to Dr. Sudhanshu, who has kindly invited me for this talk. And it is my humble privilege to be in front of all of you. So actually, today's talk precisely maybe 30 minutes or 40 minutes, I guess. So I'll be trying to cover the most eminent areas which we need to look after in today's world, because today's we are using a lot of LLM models and we are relying on hugely on the percent of energies. So it's quite important to understand the usage of NLP, the ethics behind the NLP, and why we need to learn about it. So, and obviously, it's a futuristic topic in AI, because AI has a lot of field. Okay, so I will share my screen to start. Let me check quickly.
Yes, sir, please. We'll be having the start session from your end.
Yes. I'm just trying to share the screen.
Yes, sir, the screen is visible to the audience now.
Okay, great. So today I'm going to give you a brief introduction about NLP, what it does, how it is used, and about it. So my topic is the role of NLP for the future AI communications. So all of you have already understood, and maybe they have know about me already. So I'm not going to give you a brief about myself. So I will tell you about my lab. So the first thing that I would like to focus on the communications, because when we talk about the communications, we talk about human communications, right? Like how we communicate, we talk with each other in maybe in Uzbek language, Hindi language, English language, or maybe Korean language. So we talk to each other, we understand each other, and with some maybe in with some expression, with some words, with some body languages, we communicate, right? But how the AI will transform this entire communication way, because we are now relying on entirely on AI, most of it, because students are relying on different tools, which are the AI built tools these days. So this communication, when we talk about the human communications, it's mostly rely on the human speech and preferably also on the body languages. But yes, AI is a kind of decision maker which actually revolutionized this entire communications for the next maybe 5 decades precisely. But when we talk about the AI, like most of us which are who are like not aware of the kind of ML, DL, and AI things, must be aware of the thing like robots. Yes, AI robot is a contribution of AI, but robot is not the only AI. AI can be anything. Like you, maybe you have an app which will understand your daily habits, which understand your daily routine. That's an AI app. Okay, so if you have anything in your house, for example, if you have Alexa, that's a AI contribution. So every day we are being completely filled up with different AI algorithms and different contribution of AI algorithms, we may say. So for example, if you are feeling hot, so your thermostat, if your thermostat is a AI enabled thermostat, so it will can automatically control the room temperature, so that you can get a comfortable weather, I mean climatic condition in your room, and also you can get a comfortable stay. So that will also save you money, because it's not unnecessarily to heat up your room if it not needed. So that's the contribution of AI. But other than that, when it comes to the communications, we have two kinds of communications. Like one is a medium of communication, another one is a ease of communications. So medium of communication, we all know that, like telephonic communications, email, or maybe a written mail communications, or whatever. But here we'll be talking about the ease of communications, like human language, how AI will help in it. So what is special about human language? Why we need to understand the human language? Human language is a very advanced and sophisticated language. It's much, much more advanced than the any difficult or any sophisticated programming language that we currently have. It's such a systematically built, such a systematically constructed in such a way that it has a lot of symbolic structure, categorical structures, signaling perspective, and also it helps with different kinds of body languages that we speak. So we use sound, gesture, writing, images, many things we pursue with the help of human languages. So these human languages needs to be understood very clearly. It's not about only written, that I'm writing something that okay, I'm a bachelor student in computer engineering. I study at in Amity University, Tashkent. So it's not like that only writing. It needs a lot of understanding behind this writing. Is it a what kind of sentence this is? Okay, so this entire thing relies on the NLP. So why ease of communication is important? Because maybe you are all a lot of undergraduate students, and maybe after 4 years of your study, you'll be either going to for your master's study, or maybe you will appear for your job. So when you're going for a job interview, so your verbal communication is very important. It's not necessary you have to be very good in the English, or you have to be very good in any particular language. But it's very important that when you speak, when you communicate with someone, it's very important that how you interpret your like your the way of your thought process, like how you think about it. So it should be very much sophisticated, it should be interpretable, it should be productive, and less erroneous. For example, here we can see an example like a man who is taking an interview, and the interview is sitting here, and he's just answering in such a long and quick way that this interviewer getting trapped in, like, they're like confused with the verbal communication. So it's not good. So ease of communication is very important, how you talk. So when you talk in a general life, yes, AI cannot help you in that way. Currently, maybe in future it can, but currently it cannot. But in other way of communications, AI can really help in the human communications. And that's the contribution of NLP. NLP stands for natural language processing. So when we talk about the natural language and its processing, it means the human language and how we process them. So any human languages, Hindi, English, Uzbek, Korean, German, human languages can be processed with the help of NLP. Now, a lot of us are not aware of the exact meaning of NLP, because we know that if some layman asks me, like, what do you mean by NLP? What is natural language processing? For example, if he knows the term natural language processing, so what he thinks natural language processing must be something like it's like an autocorrect in Google. Okay, it's like a Google translator. It's like a IBM Watson, which is actually answering the questions behind when you are answering the topics. Or it can be your, like, your personal assistant or scheduler. So it's correct, they are the real time, I mean, day-to-day activities and uh, contribution of NLP. But NLP is beyond that. It's much beyond that, because every day we are now very much aware of different AI tools, because these AI tools, we precisely call it AI tools, but actually they're the NLP tools. The biggest NLP tools that we use in our everyday these days are the chat GPT, right? So when we use the chat GPT or any other AI tools, it's actually the contribution of NLP. In the background, the entire NLP, the deep learning, LSTM model, RNN models are working tirelessly to process your text in the real time, and also in a human-like structures. So NLP has two parts. One is a natural language generation and another natural language understanding. Either they generate, you understand, or they understand and then generate. So this generation and understanding combined together as a natural language processing. So natural language processing, or the NLP, is a field of computer science, AI, and computational linguistics. It's a combined structure, like you cannot only understand NLP if you do not understand the concept of linguistics. So a little bit study of linguistics is also important to understand the importance of the language, to understand the importance of the different grammar, different lexical things, different semantical things, different syntactic things. There are various ways we can process the natural languages, because we are the human being. We have to teach our computers. We have to train our computers to learn something, and our computer cannot learn on its own without being supervised at first. There are different unsupervised ways to do that, but obviously those are for different data. For natural language processing, we really care about the supervised way of learning, where we try to make the computer understand, try to train the computer, understand that how these languages are being built, what is the grammar behind these languages, like, because the grammar in Korean, the grammar in English are completely different. Okay, so when we speak something in Korean, we cannot just translate it word by word into English. So that's the reason, because NLP is so difficult. So NLP can help in human machine communications or human communications also. So when we talk about the human communications, the biggest thing and the biggest help that NLP does to us is the maybe the Grammarly tool. For example, if you're writing some mail, if you're writing some letter, if you're writing some article, and you have installed the Grammarly in your Microsoft Word, or if you've installed the Grammarly in your Chrome browser as an extension, it will automatically suggest you the correct English. It will automatically suggest you the language that you have said, not only English, different other languages also. So that means it is automatically in a real time, it is understanding the NOU, that what you are writing or what you're trying to write. And also it is applying the NLG, natural language generation. It generates the suggestions for you. So not only it is helping in the human machine communications, it is also improving human communications, which is the biggest contribution of NLP, because it helps us to communicate in a much easier way. Because when we talk about the different non-English speaking countries, like the Eastern countries like China, Japan, Korea, and these countries, like most of the people are not aware of so much of the English. But I know English is not the only language, but to communicate internationally, it's a language which we can rely on and communicate in different parts of the world. So they have to rely on a correct way of communications when they rely on these AI tools, specifically the NLP tools. So this human communication improvement is much bigger than we talk about the human machine communications. So why NLP is interesting? So any language, like human languages, it can have different forms of expressions like reading, writing, speaking, listening. Okay, so any way we talk about the any kind of human activities, specifically with the languages, so it can use as an interface in many applications. For example, virtual assistant or a personal assistant like Siri, Alexa, Cortana. Okay, and we can use this as a remote control for different kind of voice-enabled remote control for controlling TV, fridge, AC, everything. So this NLP used to acquire the insights from huge amount of data. And you'll be shocked to know that the World Wide Web, WWW, that we use every day has almost 80% of the unstructured data, and it's filled with completely text data. And there was an unstructured, have no way to structure them in a Excel file or some kind of structured format. So this huge unstructured data is a text data, and this unstructured data, those texts can be numbers, those texts can be in any language, but those are the text data, and this data needs to be handled with NLP. And when you cannot make your computer understand that what you want to do, what your computer should do, computer cannot understand. So that's why we need some processing tool which will help us to make our thought in a way of computer-enabled language, and computer can also speak in our language, because we don't want computer to speak in a printf, scanf, and something like that. Okay, we want computer to speak in a human language. So NLP is hard. I must say it's not so easy to learn, but yes, if you learn it well, if you invest some part of your study time to NLP, your future is clear, because it's a huge applications, are huge job securities are there in the mainly for the NLP engineers or the NLP scientists. But it's quite hard. Why is it hard? So let me give you some example. For example, I take example of a sentence called "I made her dark," but it can have different meanings from different perspective. So it's a very famous example. So I made her dark. It can be like I cooked waterfowl for her, like a chicken, like a duck. Okay, I cooked waterfowl for her, or I cooked waterfowl that belonged to her. The same meaning from the same sentence. I made her duck. The third, I created duck that she owns, maybe plastic or mud or some clay or something. That duck, I made her duck. I made her duck for her and gifted her. Okay, that's the third line. And the fourth, I caused her to quickly lower her head or body, like ducking something. Like if you are entering into some like a narrow space, you have to duck below to enter into the like a narrow door. So I caused her quickly to lower her head or body, and also the unrealistic, obviously, but there is a possible way that I waved my magic wand and turned her into an undifferentiated waterfowl. That is a duck or chicken. Obviously, this is unrealistic for a human being, but for a computer, it can be realistic, right? So if I write, I made a duck and I enter it into the computer, even for a human being, it can be 5 or even more meaning for a single sentence. So can you imagine like how hard it is for a computer to understand what it means actually? The next example is like, call me a cab. And the other person there, okay, you're a cab. No, he said like, call me a cab. That means someone should call a cab for him. But for a human intelligence, for human intuitions, and our understanding, we can understand, okay, he is asking for a cab to be called. But for a computer, if I say, call me Indro, he will say, he will just start calling me Indro. But if I say, like, call me a cab, generally he will start calling me cab, but that's not the case. So this kind of sentences, and these sentences are huge. This kind of highly ambiguous sentences cause the computer to get confused. So we need a very good NLP techniques to apply. Every steps of the NLP need to be processed very carefully so that all these feature vectors, like when we divide these sentences into different features, different attributes, different, like first we do into the word vector space, then we have to characters vector space, then we convert all these vectors, then we have to process it very carefully in different ways, like syntactic analysis, semantic analysis, lexical analysis, discourse analysis, different other process and steps are there in NLP. Today, I know you all of are not from only from the computer science background, maybe from other background also. So I'm not getting into the technical part, but I will suggest if you are not also from the computer science background, maybe electronics or other background, NLP is a future, like in someday, ChatGPT just that the company just launched the chat GPT and it revolutionized the entire world. But the concept was already there with us. With the researcher, like my PhD students, they are already working on those LLMs, large language models. So they are already know that how to generate words, how to generate the different sentences based on some input. So those techniques were aware of, I mean, already there. But combining those techniques and preparing a single module was the main contribution of ChatGPT, right? So it's the future. Like we are relying on entirely on GPT. So like not only GPT, we can rely on different AI tools that can create different voice generation, that can create different caption for image. They can create different the subtitle for a movie. They can create many things. So these are the different contribution of NLP. There is another example which actually very famous example in NLP. It says that I shot an elephant in my pajama. So it can have two meaning basically. Like I shot an elephant while I'm wearing my pajama, or I shot an elephant who was wearing my pajama. So for a human being, it's quite obvious that it does mean that I shot an elephant while I'm wearing my pajama. But for a computer, both the meaning can be possible. So this kind of ambiguous sentence is very difficult to compute while we give this examples in the computer. So we have to process it quite well because they actually process these sentences in a form of lexical trees. So I'm not going deep into that, but they just divide this sentence word by word into different parts of speech, then try to connect those parts of speech to form a single root tree. So this parts tree actually help the computers to understand that whether this sentence is a meaningful or not, or whether this sentence actually makes any sense. Natural language processing are highly ambiguous, I told you. We have to take care of the lexical thing, that is each word meaning. We have to take care of the syntactic thing. Like, for example, a single comma can make a huge difference in the meaning of a sentence. A single semicolon, a single full stop can make some meaning of a sentence like drastically change. So syntactical changes, lexical changes are also important. Next is a semantic. Semantic is like the meaning of a particular sentence of a kind sentence. Like, for example, I'm writing a article about anything, 100, maybe 100-word article. And the first line, the semantic means what does it first line means? And the discourse means the meaning of that entire part of the sentences, like what the context of the entire word. So computer try to first understand the lexical, the word meaning. Then they try to check the syntactical way, like how the syntax are being prepared. What does the syntax actually mean? How does the syntax actually separate these words for performing the NLP task? Then he tried to understand the semantics, means the meaning behind that particular sentence, the meaning that actually states the context of the sentence. And finally, the discourse, when it understands the word, understand the syntactics and understand the semantic of the particular sentence, that is the only word, then they understand the entire context of the text, the what this entire text is talking about. For example, you put a big paragraph inside the chat GPT and ask that, okay, can you tell me, can you do a summary of this? So how does chat GPT works? It's actually a RNN based, recurrent neural network based NLP model. So what it does, it first checks the lexicality in the entire text. It checks the particular word meanings from its dictionary, which already been trained. And then it checks the syntactic, that whatever the meaning I'm trying to find out, are they really exist according to syntax. Then the semantic means they try to understand each and every sentences. And finally, the discourse, that is the entire context of the text. Then based on this understanding, entire understanding, they generate some new sentences. That's the contribution of NLG. They generate some new sentences, and these new sentences actually broadcasted to us as a summarized way. So how does, for example, if you search something on chat GPT, like can you tell me who is the president of this country? So and the chat GPT actually answered that in a complete sentence. When you search same thing in the Google is simply give you some link where he finds the answer, and you can choose the link wisely according to your need, and you can go and check yourself. But chat GPT, what it does, it may not give you the correct answer always, but any AI tools, including the chat GPT, they actually try to find and combine all the searches behind which has been trained. If it is a real-time chat GPT, for example, which have online access, you can search instantly. If it is not a online or web-based chat GPT, if it's a already trained model, for example, GPT 3.5, then what it does, it try to understand from its already trained model and try to understand and find instantly with different kind of hashing technology to search, and then it finds the answer. When it finds the answer, try to generate a new sentence exactly in the same language you have asked, exactly in the same way, or talking like the way of or the tone. In the same tone, they will answer you the president of that particular country. So it's actually summarizing all the information it has. It is actually summarizing all the sources from the internet, if it has any source to the internet. So if it summarizing all the sources and find the answer, obviously it's a probable answer, because all the time this LLM models cannot be true or cannot be correct. So you have to rely on them wisely, so not blindly. So because any LLM model till date are not 100% true, 100% correct, because they are based on some understanding, based on some generations. So NLP is a new techniques. We generally call NLP is a new technique. We generally call today's in 2022 or 23, we got the ChatGPT. It's a huge revolution of AI. No, the NLP starts long before. It starts with the 1940s, when the Turing machine, the automata, the different algorithms were developing mathematics, different probabilistic and IT models were developed, not information technology, the information theoretic models, that the mathematical models were developed. So in 1940s, it started. Then gradually you, like the students from the computer science here, sitting here, maybe have learned the automata theory, or maybe theoretical computer science. They have some knowledge. You have heard of the name of the scientist Chomsky. So they develop these techniques as a formal language theory and different generative syntax. And so gradually into 1970, 1980, and different natural language understanding models were developed. These are all mathematical models. They At that time, they do not have any kind of computational like the development for that proving those models, but those models really works computationally in terms of mathematics. Okay. But all this comes together when there is a huge development of machine learning. So when we get the machine learning, the contribution of machine learning, and gradually the deep learning, deep neural network, and different advanced neural networks. So we gradually try to train this data and apply those knowledge we already have from 1940s, those mathematics already have, we had the knowledge of from last 60 years, and we apply those, and then we try to build something which can give the result. And that's all these NLP contribution are the contribution of not today's, but a long history of 60, 70 years. But where are we currently right now? So we, for example, if we can divide the stages of AI, particularly the NLP, we can divide into three stages: stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. Currently, we are in the stage 2. You might ask that we already have stage 3, we already have developed Siri, Alexa, Cortana. Yes, we already have, but those in a beta form. Those are in a developing form. So those are not completely developed. Those are not completely reliable. So when we say that those models are reliable, then we'll go to the stage 3. But currently, we are working on the machine intelligence to, to, to improve the intelligence quality as at par with the human intelligence as much as possible, obviously. So AI and NLP is actually linked in different way. For example, the computers use, understand, and generate different natural languages. So under the AI, we have different other fields like machine learning, deep learning, deep neural network, and many other advanced neural network things are there. But NLP is one of them. NLP can use the make use of the machine learning, make use of the traditional AI, make use of the deep learning. But generally, in a big model like the Google Translator, which we talk and just translate immediately in the foreign language, it's all the deep learning contribution. They actually use the LSTM model, long short-term memory model, for using the data and analyzing the data. So NLP, the major areas of research and development that needs the contribution of NLP from any professor, any scientist, any engineers are mostly in the text processing and speech processing. So these areas are actually needs to be looked after. So because I told you there is huge amount of data, because if we see this structure, let me show you. Okay, I'll show you later. So when we talk about the data, I told you, like in the World Wide Web, we have a huge amount of data, like 80% of the total data are unstructured text data. So when we try to understand, like, and this 80% of the data is everything, like whatever you post on the internet, like as in a form of text, like you post something on Facebook newsfeed, you post something on Twitter, you post something on Instagram, you post something on Thread, you post something on GitHub, uh, LinkedIn, anywhere. You post any text, anything on the internet, they are contributing to this huge volume of data. And this huge volume of text data is only depending to be done with the help of NLP. And this application of this large amount of text require high skills NLP engineers. So that's why I told you that if you are interested in NLP, if you get, or maybe try to get your interest in NLP, there's a huge future and high paying jobs are waiting for you. So why AI is so celebrated? Because I told you about the NLP, which has started in last 60 years, and it's a completely mathematical model, which we have currently used with the help of machine learning. Then why AI is so celebrated? AI is a basis of mimicking the human intelligence. For example, in my lab, I generally call that I'm understanding the human intelligence with artificial intelligence. It means I try to develop some algorithms, some techniques, precisely we can say, some tools or some techniques which can understand the human intelligence, which can mimic the human intelligence and try to create something which a human can or may not create. So that's the magic of AI. So it try to understand, try to learn, remember everything once it learns, not unlike human being that may forget, but it try to remember, and once it trained well, when it learns well, it can perform automatically. So AI needs to be celebrated, obviously, because it's the future and it's giving us so many things these days. So, and nowadays, NLP is also working with AI. So that means, for example, if we talk about the traditional NLP, I ask something to the Google Translator. For example, I'm writing this, uh, my name is this, and I have to translate that into Korean. And it will say that this is the sentence in Korean for the Google translated word. That's the instruction-based NLP. But if I want to, that's also a contribution of AI, but that helps, that those AI helps to translate, doing the machine translation, doing the entirely running the deep learning and the long short-term memory and all these neural network. I'm not going deep into that to understand those language. But how to make this AI enabled? For example, you have developed an AI enabled translating app, and that AI enabled translating app will automatically get switched on your mobile phone. Maybe it was running in the background always when some foreign languages was speaking around you. So if it detects any foreign languages by its own and it try to translate those for you automatically, then we can say a AI inbuilt NLP program or a machine translation program. So we can, other than traditional NLP process, other than traditional machine learning based process, we can also enable some AI. AI doesn't mean like robots. AI doesn't mean like anything beyond ML, because ML, DL, NLP, these are part of AI. AI means anything automation, anything to be automatic, anything to be mimicking the human intelligence or human work, human activities. So this we can call it as a AI-based NLP. So when we talk about the AI, it's the entire umbrella topic. Under the AI, we have two parts, the ML and NLP. Under the ML, when the data size become large, when we have huge attributes of data, when we rely on deep models and require lots of analysis, we rely on deep learning. It's a part of machine learning, advanced machine learning, we can say. And NLP is a part of AI, which can work with traditional AI, which can work with ML, which can work with DL anywhere. Okay. So these days, NLP is everywhere in entirely commercial world. You can get, if you're expert in NLP, you can get job in Google, Yahoo, Indeed, Microsoft, Facebook, everywhere, LinkedIn, everywhere you can get a job, because all of these companies are generating data and they are getting data from all over the world. And to improve their company, to improve the performance of their company, improve the performance of their tools, software, everything, they need to understand the human need. And to understand the human need, we need to apply the NLP. NLP will read our comments. NLP will reads our maybe any kind of discussion. NLP will read our post. They will understand that what we want, what we need, and then those companies can provide some solution for that. So that will help the companies to grow. So if you're expert in NLP, all companies are open for you right now. So now let's get a little deeper into NLP, not into the entire part. I will just help you understand that how this NLP actually works in real time. So for example, when we talk about the NLP, so why do we need? Because we use the virtual assistants every day. Like if you have an iPhone, we use the Siri. If you have a Alexa, you're at your home, so you use Alexa. If you're Microsoft, you use Cortana. We use a lot of virtual assistant in our everyday. For example, you're traveling through a bus across the city, you just suddenly listen a tune from any nearby store, and you don't know the song lyrics, anything, but you want to listen to the song. We have just listened to a fragment of the tone. You ask your Alexa, you ask your Google Assistant, and just mimic that particular tone that you have just catch. Then it will try to find the song for you from that particular rhythm from the entire World Wide Web, and it will play for you. So it's magical, right? So it helps us a lot of time. It will remind us of our day-to-day activity. It reminds us of our any tasks that we are left behind. Because for example, I have a lecture at the 2 p.m. here in Korea, and my Alexa was continuously reminding me for every 30 minutes, every 1 hour that you have lecture. So sometimes it's irritating, but it actually helps us to get reminder without any human intervention. So it's an example of an Alexa. I think a lot of you already have known Alexa, but if you're not, so you can see there's an example how Alexa is actually working with our voice command, actually working and understanding that what we feel. Not only it's in a direct sentence like please switch on the fan, but in our way of saying also. So let's see the video. Is this sound is available to be broadcasted here in the auditorium?
It is not available. The audio is missing in the video. We are not able to hear the audio.
Okay. Just a minute. Yeah, that's why I was asking. And I'm sorry, I don't know how to do that. And
At Teams, there is an option when you're sharing, there is an option
yes,
where you have to check for sharing the sound also. Share the
but
audio.
there is written share the sound.
Yes, sir. You have to just check on that so that it gets enabled. Exactly.
Is it
Alexa,
working now?
turn on channel 9.
The video is audible now. Thank you.
Okay.
Alexa, TV on.
Okay.
Alexa, it's hot.
Okay.
Alexa, turn lights on.
Okay.
Alexa, dining room off.
Okay.
Alexa, turn on channel 9.
Okay.
Alexa, it's cold. Alexa, it's cold.
Okay.
Alexa, turn TV volume down.
Okay.
Alexa, good night.
Okay.
Okay, so now you can see that how Alexa or the NLP is working, not only based on our instruction, but based on the thought, based on the feelings that we are feeling currently, that to understand our requirement. For example, if it says that it's hot, it switch on the AC and the fan altogether. But when it says that it's cold, it switch off the AC, but not the fan. So actually, that means it's making cold from the AC. It understands that, okay, so if you switch off the AC, that would be more preferable. And already he said it's hot. So definitely there will be hot if we switch off everything. So let's switch on keep the fan on and switch off the AC. So these are the little understanding of the human thought, human feelings that we share with our NLP tools, and they can understand without even being instructed. Like, please switch on the AC, please keep the fan on, please. We don't need to even say those things. We can say that like that way, but we don't need to these days. Okay, so that's a huge contribution that we actually have. So these are small a particular kind of image that I have taken while I'm preparing this PPT for you. I'm taking this from the internet. So this says that every 60 seconds, like every minute, we have like 500 hours of YouTube videos have been uploaded. Like 150,000 emails are being sent every 1 minute. 3.3 million posts are being posted on Facebook. So 29 million WhatsApp messages are being sent from all over the world in every minute. And all these data are actually not vanished. They're stored somewhere in some server, in some local PC, in some your local mobile phone. It is being saved anywhere. So all this data, if you are using a maybe an encrypted portal, it will not store in a server. But if you're not using an encrypted portal, it will be saved in a WhatsApp server where you can back up those, where you can restore those. So all this data contributes to that 80% of the unstructured data, which I told you. So all these data actually are the data which requires the skilled NLP. So NLP is in everyday's life. That was one example which I told you about the Alexa. We use email filtering. Like, for example, Google has different folders like promotion, social, inbox, and many other tabs you can create also. So Google automatically it's not about the privacy issue. Actually, no human being actually reads it, but actually any computer tools reads our email much before we read it. So that means it reads the entire context of the email. It tries to find any kind of spam or any kind of thing that relates to spam or promotion or any kind of I mean to say like any kind of social activities. Then it will automatically categorize those emails in different categories or folders. So this the everyday contribution of NLP as email filtering. Next is the smart assistant. I also already explained you the smart assistant. I already told you like how smart assistant is actually helping to us. Now I'll show you another video. This video has been just launched by the Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, and they are developing this Google Assistant in such a beautiful way that now this Google Assistant can talk to the human being in exactly same way like a human does. And not only that, they will respond. They can do the work in absence of you also. So it's not like instruction based anymore. Like I don't need to say to the Alexa that I'm feeling cold. If I just thinking or if I just set my mood to like for something, for a vacation, for a hotel, for a booking at a restaurant, so it automatically do the task for you. So let me play this video and you can understand that how this Google Assistant, I'm taking example of Google Assistant, but actually this is an NLP, how it is talking to a human being. So the left one is the Google Assistant and the right one is the actual human, and they have called each other in real time and they book the restaurant for this. For example, the owner of this phone has set their Google Assistant that to book a hotel or book a restaurant for particular person in a particular restaurant for a particular day. Okay, let's play this.
See how may I help you?
Hi, I'd like to reserve a table for Wednesday the 7th.
For 7 people?
It's for 4 people.
4 people when? Today?
Next
Tonight?
Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Oh, actually we leave here for like after like 5 people. For 4 people you can come.
How long is the wait usually to be seated?
For when tomorrow or weekday or?
For next Wednesday, the 7th.
Oh no, it's not too busy. You can come for 4 people, okay?
Oh, I gotcha. Thanks.
Yep. Bye bye.
So you can see here how this entire Google Assistant actually helping like and talking like a real human being, calling them in like a real human being, and they can answer that particular person, the manager of a restaurant, and reply to that in the same way a human does. So that's the magic of NLP in our everyday life, and that's the actual future of AI communications, like human machine communications, but exactly in a human way. And also another example is the everyday life is the search result. Whenever you start typing on the Google for something, it is auto completing your sentence. For example, you start typing anything on the Gmail, it will like thank, it will automatically like you so much. So it automatically feeling. So these are also the contribution of NLP in our daily life. The language translation, it's a huge contribution. For example, if you're staying in a foreign country, you don't know the language, then it's obviously you have to rely on Google Translator, Papago, and different other translation app, which is a result of the NLP. Text analytics is a huge topic, which actually the researchers used to do, where they understand and try to understand the nature of the text, their sentiments behind the text. If they are saying like, shut up, is it like a angry text? Is it like a smiling text? Is like a general text? What kind of text? What kind of emotion? What kind of sentiments behind this text? So this is a kind of techniques which generally the BI, the business intelligence people actually apply on their tools or software or platform to understand the customer's need, customer's experience, customer's demand, customer's review, their sentiments, their emotion. It's very necessary for them to understand their customers to improve their business. So language understanding is very important, as I say, before you generate any NLP. I mean, NLP, using NLP, before you generate any sentences, applying the NLG, you have to understand the NLU part, the natural language understanding. For example, he's a dog. So here we consider dog as a computer, and this man as us, as a human being. Now, if I say like, okay, Ginger, I have had it, you stay out of the garbage. Understand, Ginger? Stay out of the garbage or else. But for a dog, does he really understand what he says in English? No, he only understands the word ginger. That maybe his name, he just understand, or maybe a word or a sound to him that actually calls him. So he says like blah, blah, ginger, blah, 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 ginger, ginger, blah, 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 something like that. Okay. So it's very important to understand first that, so to understand, we need to train the computer in such a way that computer can be more reliable, more trustworthy before we use the generated words. Okay. So it's also our responsibility when we search something on the ChatGPT, when we rely something on the large LLM model, we have to write the sentence in a proper way so that the LLM, the model can understand what we're really trying to say, what our query is really is in a complete way, so that it can give us better results. Okay. So the most popular examples you can build as a student in using NLP. So are the chatbots, information retrieval tools, information extraction tools, question answering tools, text summarization, and machine translation. These tools are really obviously in a small level. These tools are really useful to prepare, and they are very I mean to say like easy to use, easy to prepare also, using different Python packages. So you can try applying those and make those for your projects or something. There are different other aspects. This is for the professors who are working on NLP here. Maybe this entire applications can be, each of them can be a thesis level PhD research topics. You can take a screenshot or something, and you can do more on this, work more on this. These are the open areas currently, which requires a huge intervention of the NLP experts. Okay, so before we end the topic, I want to tell you like how do you, if any of you are interested in NLP, you are welcome to learn the NLP. So to learn the NLP, you should have a few knowledge about probabilistic theory, basically probability in your whatever you have learned in your high school, statistics, basic maths, linear algebra and calculus, machine learning, and obviously a programming, maybe R, Python, any programming language you have to know. There are several books to learn from the NLP. Daniel Judovsky's book was very famous. to understand the NLP, but that's more of a linguistic. If you want to learn NLP also, there is one book, it's published by the government of Korea, Natural Language Processing, a Stepwise Approach Using Python. It is, I have written this book. It is available all over. So you can get this book also if you want to learn something related to Python. And you need to practice NLP, like only learning will have no import. I mean, it is of no use if you only learn until you practice. So if you can open any GitHub account, any Stack Overflow, anywhere, and try to get some different exercises. So once you learn something, you practice those exercises, take some data from the Kaggle, and from those Kaggle and apply, get some ready-made code from the GitHub. Try to first dry run those code with those data, and then see that how this data are being analyzed with those code line by line. Try to understand and then apply your own intelligence, change those things and explore more. Okay, these are the first step to work with the NLP. So that's all for today's task. So I hope that you have enjoyed and you have understood a lot of bits. So if you have any query, you can reach out to me on my email. And I have a lab here, Chatterjee's Neuroimaging and AI Lab. I have a PhD, master's, and postdoc students working here. So my PhD students are working on neuroscience, specifically computational neuroscience, medical imaging, and AI. And in the part of AI, they are working on computer vision and NLP. So if you want to know more about me, you can log into my lab page. And in our university, there are a huge population of Uzbekistan, I mean, students from Uzbekistan. Even in my class, there are more than 20 to 24, I guess, Uzbek students. So in Tongnyang University. So if you want any kind of collaborations, any kind of openings for my lab, you are all welcome. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening.
Thank you, sir. It was indeed a very informative session and had much as a takeaway for our students. I hereby invite Dr. Gaurav Agarwal, Associate Professor, Department of IT and Engineering, to take over the platform for further processing, for question answer rounds and etc. Scheduled for the day. Over to you, sir, please.
Good morning, sir. It was a very helpful session. Like we get to know all about NLP, the syntactic, semantic, that pragmatic analysis that we need for these type of application. Yeah, for these type of applications. So now I'm opening for the question answer round for the students. So anyone has some questions regarding the NLP? Yeah. So we have one question.
What's the meaning of NLP in words? Can you explain? NLP, what means NLP? Can you explain, please?
Oh, that's the basic questions I defined every time. So NLP means the natural language processing. Processing means like to process something for the natural languages. And in case of natural languages, here we talk about the human languages. Human languages means like English, Uzbek, Urdu, Korean, any languages. So when the computer, for example, you are working with C, Python, so you are working with computer languages for programming. Now, when we work on the human languages, English, Korean, Urdu, Uzbek, this thing, you have to use the NLP, natural language processing. This is a tool. There's a technique or technology, we can say.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So any other questions?
Firstly, thank you for the lecture about the NLP. So I think the most interesting concept in NLP nowadays is function calling. I mean, as you said in the show, the Alexa demo, where you can able to, from your speech, call some function. So my question is, what do you think the you said that we can create own NLP and improve how to say they integrate something. Can you explain about the how can I mean the concept of calling the function giving argument or what I mean I'm just asking about how to call the function in NLP. I mean, what kind of models or knowledge or maybe main algorithms for that?
Okay, okay. So
Yes.
as far if I can understand your question. So actually, yes, you want to ask like what kind, yes, what kind of models you should use and how to use and to start with NLP. So that's why I tell you, like, to learn the NLP, you should have like to start from scratch. You should have some knowledge about programming, preferably Python or R. You should have some knowledge about mathematics. You should have some knowledge about linguistic in the way that, for example, probability theory and statistics. So these are all the background knowledge you should have. But to start with NLP, so basically there is no such model. So you can use any models. You can use deep learning model, you can use machine learning models, you can use traditional AI models. For example, if you use the deep learning models, you can use RNN, simple RNN, by LSTM. There is a very famous neural network tools called LSTM, long short-term memory. That's actually help us to understand the natural languages in a very sequential way. So Google Translator works with the LSTM way. So you can use this LSTM. So how to do that? So you have to gather the data, any text data. Okay. And when you gather the text data, maybe you have written your own article, you saved it in your text file, just simple notepad file. Then you import those in your pandas. Okay. When you import those data using Python, and then you pre-process those data for any kind of removing any kind of syntactical things, comma, full stop, and all these things. Then you clean the data, then you pre-process the data. Pre-process the data means that extracting the parts of speech, POS tagging, we call it. This POS tagging means a parts of speech tagging. So we tag the nouns, we tag the pronoun, we tag the adjective in the word, then we group them by that. Then we convert those into a feature vectors, those sentences. And those feature vector we create, and after more pre-processing steps, we create the complete process data. After we create the complete process data, we start the processing, the NLP processing. First the lexical analysis, then pragmatic analysis, then semantic analysis, then discourse analysis. We do all this part of analysis. We understand. Now NLU is done. Now we have to work on the NLG. Like whatever the function you asked, whatever the particular question you asked to the computer, your article says, if needs to be summarized, then NLG will summarize the completely word with the kind of generating new words for that. Obviously, not new words means not out of the world, but new words means from its own dictionary. And it will try to feed those words in such a way that it satisfy the grammar of that particular language, and it also makes some sense. Like it should follow the semantic way of that particular sentence and discourse of the entire context. So there is not like any function like we can say like def something void means there's no function called like that.
Yeah, because I see the last updates in ChatGPT, there was like adding from one prompt, they're able to call the around 128 functions and give it parameters for that. It was wonderful. So it's,
Yes,
think, the top of nowadays, the ability of NLP.
Yes. So yeah, that's a great contribution of NLP, but I will suggest all of you, you are the students who are just starting your career. So do not rely entirely on these LLM models. These are not 100% trustworthy, not even 100%. I would say 60% trustworthy. So these are, sometimes they just randomly generate words. So do not trust those LLM models entirely, and take those things, learn those things wisely with your own human knowledge, in human intelligence, that which one to take, which one not to take. And there is a huge AI ethics lies behind it. So follow those ethical rules, whatever you need to choose, what not to choose. Okay. So like use ChatGPT wisely, not blindly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It's very informative answer. I have just one question from my side. Actually, I'm very inquisitive to ask this question. Now we have Alexa, now we have ChatGPT involving every type of this pragmatic discourse analysis, post taggings, everything involving in this, all type of semantic analysis. Now what next after this? Any other application do we have to see in coming future?
I don't know, but maybe yes, obviously, because NLP is a future, because obviously AI is a future. It not gonna finish in next like 10 decades. I must say it's a century long plan for the development of AI. But at least for NLP, I mean, next 50 years is there. So because ChatGPT is also improving right now, and they are supporting the speech to text right now. You can upload your documents there. They can read you from your documents. They can do the data analysis on its own. If you upload a Excel file there, they can do the data analysis on its own. Not only it relies now on only text, it can work on different kind of context. So, and that's not the simple machine learning. That's actually the NLP, which understands the need of this data to be understood. And after that, it does the statistics and the machine learning things. So huge contributions. We are all waiting for that.
And just a simple thing, like everyone asked about it.
Yes.
That you said the LLM are not very reliable. So we are using these things in our daily life. So does it any threat to the privacy and security?
Yeah, definitely. I used to float a new class here as a ethics in AI, and that's very important to learn because LLM relies on entirely on open access data. Whatever the data we use all over the internet are openly available. So those data are not always reliable, because it's not necessarily that ChatGPT only extract data from a reliable store. For example, if you want to know the I'm taking a very silly example. It's not true, but I'm just taking an example that, for example, if I'm searching for a distance between sun and the moon, or sun and earth precisely. So if I want to take I want to know the distance between these two planets. So if I want ask a ChatGPT may not search that from the NASA website or from any reliable astronomy page. It can just take randomly from Wikipedia. It can take randomly from any random post, and it will show me the number. But this is a small example. Actually, ChatGPT doesn't do the silly things for these silly questions, because they match and compare with the other websites also. If this data is reliable, if this data is trustworthy, how it matches that, whether this data is matching with the other websites data. But for a large, for example, you are asking for any opinion, for any decision making. For example, you're asking for any opinion for any law that has just been passed, or maybe a ideology, something like that. It actually randomly generated. So do not rely on that. For example, if you are solving any problem, any real life problem, it actually try to understand and satisfy your need. There's a big mystical things, like we work in the NLP in our lab. My PhD students are also working with that. So what we understood that this LLM models are actually very much mystical in the case, they try to satisfy us. You must have noticed that when you ask something on the chat GPT, very rarely they said, as an AI model, I cannot answer. But other than that, they try to answer you anyway. And they answer you in such a way that it looks so much like satisfying, so much believable, right? So that's the mystical way of LLM, and that's we should not follow. Most of the cases, I have searched the correct answer. I have found some wrong interpretation of that from the chat GPT, but they have interpreted in such a beautifully that it looks true. But as an expert, I know that's false. They have done a mathematics. I have given a matrix to that. I asked them to do the matrix multiplication, simple. They have given the answer step by step, but completely wrong. But they explain each step so well that it will look correct, and you can get confused yourself that, okay, maybe I'm wrong. So that happens sometimes. So these are mystical things about chat GPT. So we should not get into get into that trap. So we should use that very wisely. So just my wise suggestion to all of you as we deal with this LLM.
So we have the tool and we have to use it wisely. Thank you,
Exactly.
sir, for this informative session. Thanks a lot. Now,
Thank you.
call Dr. Sanobar.
I request the IT team to please help me. We are highly indebted and we want to present a token of appreciation and gratitude from the Amity family. I request Dr. Gaurav to please do the needful.
Yeah, so please, IT team, please. So this.
Let's put our hands together and please express our gratitude to the guest for the day. Thank you.
So I call Dr. Sudhanshu for vote of thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, sir.
Thank
We
you
are
so
really
much.
appreciated for your presence.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chatterjee, for your valuable discussion on NLP. And you had touched the most popular tool nowadays among the student community, ChatGPT, and how to use it effectively. And you had also touched this point that how it could be dangerous if you blindly believe on that. So,
Exactly.
sir, it was a very pleasure to listen to you. And your talk is particularly insightful at a time when my students are considering the new ideas to broaden their knowledge in the field of information technology, especially in artificial intelligence. I believe your words have set a new level of expectations that the students aspire for. So on behalf of MIT Tashkent, I would like to extend my warm gratitude, and I would like to sincerely thank you the time that you took to impart us with your valuable knowledge, sir. We are
Thank you so
highly
much.
grateful to have you with us, sir. And on behalf of the organizing committee of International Guest Lecture Series, I would like to express my profound gratitude to our beloved founder president, Dr. Ashok Kumar Chauhan, sir, for his blessings and motivations. And sir, you are always our source of inspiration and energy. Thank you, sir, for your blessings always. I most humbly thank to our Chancellor, sir, Dr. Atul Kumar Chauhan, sir, for his exceptional leadership, guidance, and motivation. I would like to extend gratitude to Mr. Amol Chauhan, sir, Trustee, MIT Educational Group, for his motivating and dynamic leadership. Thank you, sir, for shaping us so well. I am happy to offer sincere thanks to Dr. Gurinder Singh, sir, Group Vice Chancellor, MIT Universities, for his active guidance and support. Sir, you have given your valuable time and support to organize this international guest lecture series successfully. On behalf of the organizing committee of International Guest Lecture Series, my sincere thanks goes to our director, Mr. Babur Abdulle, and our first deputy director, Dr. Naina Chaudhary, ma'am, for their wise mentorship and encouragement. Sir and ma'am, both of you are always ready to listen the problems and provides the solution whensoever we approach to you. Last but not the least, I would like to thank my all colleagues, IT team, and support staff who have directly and indirectly provides necessary arrangement and supports to make these events successful. Thank you very much. Sir, your
Thank you.
certificate of appreciation that we have presented, it will be shortly, I will mail to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And surely in future, we will like to have a research collaboration with your lab, and provide the opportunity to our students who are interested to learn the NLP, to work on the recent trends and technology, to visit your lab and get something from you. Thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, may I request IT team to now close the meeting, and the students, your classes will resume from 11:30 as per the scheduled timetable. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.